Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Vijana Bala Virivarani Vijana Bala Virivarani Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Chandra Ballabha Virivaranari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the reading today for Srimad-bhagavatam, 10th canto, first chapter, text, which we're starting with text number 8. The chapter is called The Advent of Lord Krishna. Rohinyastanaya prokto Rama Sankarshanastvaya Devakya Garbhasambandha Kuto Dehantarandina Rohinyastanaya prokto Rama Sankarsanatvaya Devakya Garvasambandha Kuto Dehantaradvina 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 Rohinyastanaya prokto Rama Sankarsanatvaya Devakya Garvasambandha Kuto Dehantaradvina. Word for word synonyms. Rohinyaha, a Rohini Devi, the mother of Baladev. Tanayaha, the son. Proktaha is well known. Ramaha, Balaram. Sankarsanaha. Balaram is none other than Sankarshan, the first deity in the quadruple group, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Arjuna, and Vasudeva. Tvaya, by you, it is so said. Devakyaha, of Devaki, the mother of Krishna. Garvasambandha, connected with the womb. Kutaha, how? Deha antaram, transferring bodies. Vina, without. Translation. My dear, this is Maharaj Parikshit speaking. My dear Shukadev Goswami, you have already explained that Sankarshan, who belongs to the second quadruple, appeared as the son of Rohini named Balaram. If Balaram was not transferred from one body to another, how is it possible that he was first in the womb of Devaki and then in the womb of Rohini? Kindly explain this to me. No, repeat after me. My dear Shukadeva Goswami, you have already explained that Sankarshan, who belongs to the second quadruple, appeared as the son of Rohini, named Balaram. If Balaram was not transferred from one body to another, how is it possible that he was first in the womb of Devaki and then in the womb of Rohini? Kindly explain this to me. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Here is a question particularly directed at understanding Balaram, who is Sankarshan himself. Balaram is well known as the son of Rohini, yet it is also known that he was the son of Devaki. Parikshit Maharaj wanted to understand the mystery of Balaram's being the son of both Devaki and Rohini. I think I'll read the next verse also. Why did Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, leave the house of his father, Vasudeva, and transfer himself to the house of Nanda in Vrindavan? Where did the Lord, the master of the Yadu dynasty, live with his relatives in Vrindavan? Purport. These are inquiries about the itinerary of Krishna. Just after his birth in the house of Vasudeva in Mathura, Krishna transferred himself to Gokula on the other side of the Yamuna. And after some days, he moved with his father, mother, and other relatives to Nandagram, Vrindavan. Maharaj Parikshit was very much eager to hear about Krishna's activities in Vrindavan. This entire canto of Srimad-bhagavatam is full of activities performed in Vrindavan and Dwarka. The first 40 chapters describe Krishna's Vrindavan affairs, and the next 50 describe Krishna's activities in Dwarka. Maharaj Parikshit, to fulfill his desire to hear about Krishna, requested Srimad Goswami to describe these activities in full detail. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gnana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Nena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. So these are the activities of the first of all, the devotees of Krishna. Maharaj Parikshit, because he's a devotee of the Lord, he was very interested to hear about Krishna. He's a devotee of Krishna. So he's taking advantage of this opportunity shortly before his death. Please, Sukadeva Goswami, tell me all about the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. So this is the mood of the pure devotees. People in general will be thinking, and there's so many different desires to hear about so many different kind of things. The mundane news, the rubbish novels, as Srila referred to them as so many things. People in general this is what they want to hear about. But the pure devotees of the Lord, their interest is only let me hear about Krishna. Hear about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna's activities are wonderful. I mean, Krishna, he appeared, it says in that the house of Vasudeva, the house of Vasudeva, Krishna appeared was actually a prison. But anyway, he appeared like that, and and the arrangements were made, and Vasudeva was able to take him over to Gokula. To take him there and to exchange children. So he went there, and the daughter of Yashoda. He exchanged children and brought back. He brought back the child, Yashoda's child, the girl. Right? So, we don't find these kind of histories in the modern rubbish literature. Right? Krishna's activities are most wonderful. And when Krishna and so Krishna is there as the son of Yashoda, and she could not remember because it's a very strenuous situation when the child is born. So she could not remember whether she had given birth to a boy or to a girl. But when she became, woke up or stopped resting, that she realized that, hey, here's Krishna. And it's described that someone had, a nurse or someone who was there, usually when a child is born, you come out and you got to cut the umbilical cord and do that, tie the knot. So someone actually came at that moment to do that, and saw that Krishna actually he was there. There was no umbilical cord. He only had the spot, the navel. He said so. They're very surprised. How is this possible? That the child is born and he's not connected in that way. And then of course we have the whole Krishna book, the whole 10th canto of Srimad-bhagavatam. Srila says that the first 50 chapters in the 10th canto, 90 chapters in the 10th canto, and the first 40 of Krishna in Vrindavan. And basically, he was in Vrindavan the whole time, according to this. The first 40 chapters describe Krishna's Vrindavan affairs, and the next 50 describe Krishna's activities in Dwarka. So Maharaj Pritchett was very interested to hear both Krishna's intimate pastimes within Vrindavan and his also very intimate pastimes in Dwarka. And Lord Chaitanya, he especially gave us the opportunity to develop our loving relationship with Krishna in the mood, if we desired. He gave us the opportunity, at least, to develop our loving relationship with Krishna and his most intimate Vrindavan Leela. um, because previously it would be very difficult. Previous ages even it would be very difficult. There must have been devotees of Krishna or devotees of Vishnu at least in previous ages. Sure, of course, but especially after Lord Chaitanya appeared in this particular Kali, the end of the previous Dwapara Yuga, and Lord Chaitanya appeared right early in Kali Yuga. Lord Chaitanya specifically came to give the people in general the opportunity not only to become God conscious, Krishna conscious, but specifically to develop an intimate relationship with Krishna in his most lovable form. This was not so easy in the past. But Lord Chaitanya gave us this, and of course, because in previous situations, previous ages, people didn't usually worship Krishna as the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. They were especially worshiping Lord Vishnu, and if they became Krishna conscious or Vishnu conscious, they would go back to to a Vaikuntha planet, which is also spiritual world is a wonderful place. But Lord Chaitanya, he was thinking, Lord Krishna was thinking after he had been here in the end of this Dwapara Yuga, he was thinking, during the time I was there, everyone's worshiping me with great awe and veneration, glorifying me, offering prayers to me, and so on like that. But I don't really like that so much, he was saying. I don't really like that so much. I really would rather that they become had to develop a very loving, intimate relationship with me. So Lord Chaitanya actually came and gave us that opportunity. And of course, this is Srila Prabhupada says that our deity worship, Radha and Krishna worship, we don't exactly worship Radha and Krishna as Radha and Krishna is like Lakshmi Narayan, all reverence and some whatever opulence we can offer. We're not really on that level of the intimate Radha Krishna worship, but at the same time, Srila Prabhupada gave us Krishna book, and of course he gave us the translations to the rest of the Srimad-bhagavatam, so that we could learn about Krishna, we could develop a taste for our relationship, an intimate relationship with Krishna. Of course, the process starts off with the strict rule, following strictly the rules and regulations, chanting our rounds, following the regular principles, worshiping Krishna. You cannot start, you don't start off spiritual life and say, okay, I'm a gopi, I'm seeing Krishna every day. You can't. Some people might say that, or some people might present that's how you do it, but that's not how it's done. We start off by worshiping Krishna with great awe and veneration, like that, but in due course of time, as we become more purified, and as we develop if we read, especially if we read and we hear about Lord Krishna's pastimes, then we will naturally develop a desire that I would really like to be part of those pastimes. Maybe I can I'd like to become purified, and maybe I can become a gopi in the future with Krishna. Maybe I can be a cowherd boy or a friend, or have a parental relationship with Krishna, like that. Of course, the gopis are unlimited. There's millions and billions, and there's no limit to how many gopis and manjaris, who are the young gopis. There's no limits in the spiritual world to them, and And any living entity has his relationship with Krishna. So and even to be a parent of Krishna, a father or mother of Krishna, is possible. Of course, no one can become no one can become Nanda Maharaj or Mother Yashoda or Devaki or Vasudeva or any of those other specific personalities that we read about in the Srimad-bhagavatam. We cannot become them. They're eternal associates of the Lord. They are who they are. But you can still develop a parental relationship. Even during Krishna's presence, Krishna saw so many. He had Mother Yashoda as mother. Of course, he saw Devaki as a mother, and of course, Vasudeva had how many wives? 16, I think. 16 wives. So they were all considered mother, and all the elderly gopis. They were not necessarily thinking that this Krishna is my son, but they felt, oh, Krishna, he's there. They were just like mothers to him anyway. And then of course at one point, for those who really want to develop that kind of a relationship with the Lord, parental relationship, Krishna appear sometime during Krishna's pastimes as his eternal Leela. His eternal Leela, somewhere in there's the pastime with Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma will come and he'll steal all the cowherd boys and cows and cowherd boys, and calves, or calves and the cowherd boys actually. He'll take, steal them, hide them away somewhere, make them sleep in a caves somewhere, and of course Krishna expands himself. So then, when Krishna goes back home to Vrindavan, he goes with actually expansions of himself. So all the cowherd boys were actually all the cowherd boys that went home to their mothers and fathers. They were actually Krishna. They were actually expansions of Krishna, but they all looked exactly like they did before. Their characteristics, their actions, everything was the same. But the parents, upon seeing them, were thinking, "Oh, how is it that my love for my son has become just like my love for Krishna?" Because everyone at Vrindavan loves Krishna. It didn't matter who you were. Everyone loves Krishna. So they were thinking, "How is it possible that my son has become? My love for him has become just like my love for Krishna." And of course, the cows also had so much love for Krishna. These are not ordinary cows. So the millions, how in Vrindavan there was millions of cows, but Maharaj Nanda had 900,000 himself, right? So how many cows there were, and they all had their love for Krishna. So when their calves came back from the pasturing grounds, and Krishna, the calves came back from the pasturing grounds, and of course they're seeing their calves with the same love that they have for Krishna, like that. So this goes on like that. So you can have a loving relationship like that with parental relationship with Krishna. You can have a friendly relationship, and so on. And Krishna has his cowherd boyfriends, and of course they all have. Some of them are eternal associates. They've never messed up and left the spiritual world. They're always with Krishna. And then of course there are many who are jiva souls who were reinstated in that, or maybe were there, engaged in and that loving service with the Lord. And of course, in the something that Lord Chaitanya introduced is called Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So we have sadhana bhakti, that we are aware of. We practice sadhana bhakti. We chant our rounds, we follow the principles, we do regulated duty service, and so on like this. This is our Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. But Srila Bhagavatam explains that as you develop more and more of a taste for that Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, then it starts to move into some Raganuga sadhana bhakti, the beginning stage of it. Raganuga, so the beginning stage, Srila Bhagavatam explains, like his example was, there's just like the spiritual master, they say, get up in the morning and go for Mangal Arati, go see the deities for Mangal Arati. And maybe someone may say, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, I was up until 2 o'clock last night, how can I do it? And it becomes very difficult. But if the disciple is following strictly, and he's coming to Mangal Arati and singing for the deities, then when that does that, keeps doing that, then of course we develop a taste, we develop an actual taste for it, and then we get to the point we don't feel that why do I have to do this? I'm only doing this because my spiritual master tells me I've got to do it. No, you develop an actual taste. I really want to come. I'm looking forward to the next morning being there for Mangal Arati, right? And then after that, of course, you start thinking, oh, Krishna's so beautiful. Maybe I can dress him. Maybe I can cook some offering for him. So you start developing an actual taste for that. So that's the stage. But there's actually a whole, but there's also another aspect of this Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, which doesn't really come immediately, so early on like that, but it comes when it's actually close to the stage of Bhava, close to the stage of Bhava, which is right next to the love of Krishna, where you can, at that point, you may have a very strong desire to serve Krishna in a particular way, and the spiritual master may be able to tell you, okay, so you practice like this, and you can meditate on being such and such person in the spiritual world. This is a spiritual master who's actually there and is on that level, who can give some specific directions like that. So you be like that, or and you start meditating every day on trying to develop that, trying to follow in the footsteps of some devotee in the spiritual world, in Krishna's pastimes. You want to be like Krishna's father, and you can be meditating on the activities, the relationships of Nanda Maharaj with Krishna. So this is anyway. This is an advanced stage, but it's there, as has been mentioned in the Nectar Devotion, chapter 15 and chapter 16. 15 and 16 both are describing this. It also describes how someone might, if you're worshiping the deity, especially if you're worshiping your own deity, you worship the way according to your way. So there's described how someone might become worship their deity just in a more intimate way, and it's still sadhana bhakti. It's still the purpose of becoming purified, but actually developing more and more of a taste for wanting to serve Krishna in an intimate way. These things are all described in and Nectar Devotion, which of course is based on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Specific statements are there. There was one in Nectar Devotion. There's a mention of one person. I don't know if the name was given. So he was thinking, I would like to have. I wish Krishna could be my son. I would really want it, but he's here, and he was here in the material world. And how I would want Krishna to be my son. I'd like to be his father. So he was advised, I think, by Narada Muni, that okay, so you install a deity of Krishna, and you take care of him, just like your son, and you're feeding him, you're everything that you would do for a human living child. He was doing that for years, for many years. He was carrying on this kind of intimate service, and in the end, he actually became one of Krishna's many fathers. And I think during the pastime where Brahma stole the coward boys and the calves during that time, so he got his opportunity like that. So anyway, Krishna's pastimes are very wonderful, and we are, with Srila Prabhupada's blessings, we have these books, Srimad-bhagavatam, the Nectar Devotion, so many books. And then there's also the books of the previous acharyas, which gives knowledge about so many things related to Krishna consciousness. So no matter what, no matter how far we advance in spiritual life, there's always more and more and more that we can learn and we can advance from. This is the blessings of the pure devotees. If we have the desire, then we can get so much. Just like Nectar Devotion. Just like Nectar Devotion, there are how many chapters? 51 chapters. 51 chapters in Nectar Devotion, and the first 19 go from very beginning characteristics of pure devotional service, all the way up to 19, which is pure love of Krishna Prema. So that shows the progression. But then for chapter 20 to chapter 51, there just is more and more and more information given to help enhance our desire and our ability to develop that love for Krishna. There's chapters about Krishna's his characteristics. There's 64 characteristics or character qualities of Krishna. So we read them, they're listed, and then Srila Prabhupada explains them all, one by one. And if you go into the later chapters of Nectar Devotion, there are things that are, way beyond anything I can understand. But the knowledge is there. So if we are, so if we're interested, and we're very eager to become more and more Krishna conscious, and especially if we're very eager to develop a more intimate relationship with Lord Krishna, which actually was what Lord Chaitanya encouraged us to do. If we are, then the opportunity is here. We chant around, we follow the regular principles, we engage in our regular service, and the knowledge is there that we can do more and more and more and more, develop more and more knowledge and devotion for Krishna. Everything is there. Everything is there in the books and in the process that Srila Prabhupada has given us. Sometimes people have criticized, in the past there's criticism that maybe Srila Prabhupada didn't give us the everything we needed to become Krishna conscious. There was some arguments from other groups at one time. So that those arguments were made, but actually it's not a fact. What Srila Prabhupada did, he didn't start off by giving us all the very high, elevated, very intimate information about Krishna. Of course, it was there, but he emphasized the sadhana, the chanting our rounds, following the principles, regulated devotion, deity worship, and all that, because he knew if we were doing that, we would become Krishna conscious. If we started off just immediately trying to be something on a level that we're not on, then of course you actually could not advance in Krishna consciousness. You have to build up gradually. So Srila Prabhupada gave us everything. He gave us the process by which we can become Krishna conscious, and he also gave us the knowledge in these books, and also the books, the previous acharyas that he said that we could translate and also read. He gave us all that to help us so that when we were ready, when any of us were ready to go higher and higher and higher, that knowledge is there. The knowledge, the process, everything is there. So Srila Prabhupada actually gave us way more than what we need, way more than what we can maybe ever be able to utilize. He gave us so much, but he started us off with, of course, the sadhana, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, which was necessary. Otherwise, we could not progress further. He gave us everything. Anyway, those are a couple of points there. Any questions, comments? No. Okay, then we'll end for today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.